Hi guys, I'm recording this video to show the technical committee primarily a first look at the functionality we're working on for marking grids. So I'm actually going to start at the back and show you what a marking grid looks like when we're all done. If I can find my mouse. There it is. Okay. So let's have a look. I'm going to go to an event that happened in the past, just so that I've got an event with some people on it. And I'm going to take this one, CADS module ski. I'm taking this guy. Okay, now this is a CADS certification event, and I know that by clicking here. You're familiar with this, and then here's the CADS level, so it has a CADS level. Now elsewhere, which you'll see later, we've associated that CADS level with a marking grid, and because of that, when we open up the marking grid section here, we see the old marking grid stuff that we had the last couple of years. And now there's a new thing called interactive marking grid. So if I click that, then it takes me to the new marking grid functionality. Now what it's done is it's dragged in all of the candidates that were on the signed up as students, and they are all included in my grid. I can take them out if I want. I don't want this guy in my grid. If I refresh, he's gone. All right, so he's gone. Just look, this course is over, so I can see that Lori got 31 out of 34 passes, 34 out of 34. So that's a quick summary. All right, let's take a look at the grid. Clicking on the marking grid itself, I get this. So the black bar is a header, and we're going to take a look at how you can change this marking grid so it actually makes some sense. This was just, I used an automatic upload to upload all of the marking grids into Snowline, and just for demonstration purposes. So this is what you get. You get a header, you get the skills that they have to demonstrate, and you have the ability to pass them or fail them. So there you go, I just passed her, and I can put some comments. Well done. Now there's a couple other things on the screen. This little I is what the students and you see is if on the guiding skill you've associated some information. In this case, there's a guiding reference. That's a link to the World Wide Web, and there's a picture. So I just put them there just for that. Okay, so there they are. So the student, the what do we call them? The candidate gets to see this as well, so they can look and see the way guiding is supposed to be done. And there's comments, and this little label here, this says that this person has done this once already somewhere else, and it's green, so that means they passed. And if you click on it, then you can see the remarks. This is who did it, the fact that they passed, the date that it was assigned. So let's look at this one that I set up to fail. So here, so right, that's all. So you can basically see the history. And a passer. All right, so that's really all there is to the marking grid now. You also have the ability to put in comments. That's these blue things. And we're going to take a look in a minute at how you can set these up. So that's really all there is to say about the marking grid. I've tried to keep it narrow so that if the situation allows, you'll be able to just do it on your phone. I can't see really doing it on the slope, but you could do it on a phone, on a tablet very easily. Oh, so your people. Here's Lori. And if I just scroll to the right, I get Glenn. And then keeping on, I get Sam and Andy. And then I can go back and I can put in comments for them. And there's the comments. Okay, that's that. So how do you set up a marking grid? This stuff is all managed in Tools, Learning, and this is a marking grid template. So the marking grid template that I worked on that we used in my demonstration was CADS, this one here, this guy here. So if I look at it, so here's my template. There's a few properties about it, not a ton. You can, you put in your description and you can write some verbiage about it if you want. But here's the actual marking grid itself. So this is what we saw. Now this here, this ME and this results, they're just there to kind of let you know what this is going to look like on the marking grid, so they don't really do anything. Here was our, remember we had those two documents that we associated with that skill, so there they are. Let's say I didn't want demonstrate how to get up from a fall. I can take it off. If I wanted outriggers to be first, I just realign it there. If I want demonstrate to be in the next section, I align it there. If I don't like the orders that these are in, or I can rename them, so I'm going to go A, B, it sorts them alphabetically. And then we don't like that asterisk, so we'll take that out. Okay, and then C. All right, so that's really all there is to that. If I wanted to add a new skill to here, I can go and that opens a little window. Now, these are the skills that elsewhere, which we'll look at in a minute, we've associated with the certification that this grid is linked to. So here I'm going to put technical reference in there, and now technical reference has been pulled in. If I don't like my skill, yeah, we took it out already. If I don't like the section, I can delete the section. Rather not do that. I can add a new section, and I'm going to call this new stuff here. And then I'm going to add some skills. And my section looks like it disappeared, and the reason is it is alphabetically sorted so that it comes in before the V. So here's my new stuff here. I'm going to add a skill. Okay. New stuff here. Okay, so I think, and now I can delete my section. And my new skill section is gone. Now, I want to add a comment, and remarks are here. So here's a remark that I could maybe want to add. All right, so in my, there's my new comment. Okay, this is a little bit of a work in progress, but I think you understand probably how this works. And it's pretty good, actually. It's pretty simple to make changes to your marking grid. So that's how you change your marking grids. Now, let's take a look at where these, any more to say here. If you wanted to attach external information to the marking grid itself, then you can go ahead and do that. You just can. Okay, so enough about marking grids. Let's take a look at skills. These are the bare bones components, and really this is the fundamental change to what we're doing. So what happens now in the new world is skills that are on a marking grid, they are attached to the student now, to the candidate. So once a student achieves a skill, they continue to have that skill until it expires. Now, not all skills are the same. Let's take a look at my guiding skill that I've been playing with. So my guiding skill is a persistent skill. A persistent skill is one that stays with the student until it expires. This guy does not have an expiry date. Maybe I want it to expire in 2 years, in which case he no longer has the skill, and he will then need to recertify from the new marking grid that his recertification happens with. His skill would then be reactivated. You guys, technical committee, you guys are deciding whether you're going to use expiries or not. So there's a persistent skill. There is a demonstrate skill, and a demonstrate skill would be something like shows empathy during the class, right? That isn't something that once they've done it once, they own it. They have to do it again and again. And then, of course, there's a remark, which is those blue lines. The last one is a quantity skill. there's only 2 that I'm aware of, and that's the CSIA hours. So you have to do, I forget the number, 6 or 10 or whatever CSIA teaching hours in order to get your level 1, I think. Okay, so that's that. So now skills, this is back to my guiding. It's a persistent skill, so it stays with the student. If this skill is present on their level 2 course, it's already going to show as ME, meets expectation, because he owns this skill. He's proved it once. He doesn't need to prove it again, even though it's on other marking grids. That's what that all means. And then here is where we assigned our image, and then we had a link to a guiding reference. So that's the skills. This is really the heart of what you guys are doing. To look at it another way, you're defining skills, and then you're saying these skills, this is the skills that are required for a certification, and then you're setting up a marking grid saying this, we are going to evaluate against those skills in a classroom or in a snow setting. Okay, one more thing to show you about the skills. For my learning menu, we were here, skill list and update. We're going to take a look at skill titling criteria. It's pretty cool, actually. You don't need French marking grids and English marking grids. You just need English, and then they will be translated into French. I didn't do it because it's a bit of overhead for the system that I'm working on, but you guys will have that. And this is where you can see your English version, and you can update it. You got your French version, you can update it. And then the criteria you can type down right here. It's convenient. I don't know, it's just a convenience to be able to maybe sort them and clean them up in that way, search for them. Okay, so one last piece, and that is the certifications, the CAD certifications themselves. Again, it's in learning, so tools learning, and their CADS levels. So if I pick we did a VI2, Ski level 2 VI, this is the certification that we want to be able to give when the course is complete. So the technical committee, you guys, have determined that in order to get this certification, you have to have these requisite skills. Okay, and you can, here we are. So remember we had guiding on here, UID, there's my guiding. There's my guiding skill. If you don't want it, take it off. But right, so you're going to go through and you're going to define a new set of skills, or use the old ones, whatever you decide, and then you're going to put them on the certification, and then when you set up your marking grid, you can then pull them onto the marking grid. Now, this group thing is, if you want to use like you did on the other marking grid, on the old marking grids, you can say in this section you have to have 2 out of 3, in this section you have to have 4 out of 5 in order to pass. So in order to do that, you would set a group 1, 2 out of 3 would be 67%. Group 2, 73 out of 4 would be 75%. And then you can then put these guys into groups. He's in group 1, he's in group, and then when it shows up on the marking grid, they just show up in a slightly different background shading. Okay, so 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, so that's done. And then if we go and look at our marking grid, kind of going on a limb here. So we're starting. Look at our marking grid. So now we can see that there's group 1 is 2/3, group is 2 out of 3, group 3 is 3 out of 4, and it tells us that Andy McQuilkin, you missed one in your group, and if we look at the marking grid, then they're not highlighted. Oh, there we go. So this is group 1. That's group 1. This guy's group 2, he's group 2. I just randomly assigned them, right? So these, I think you guys would probably make all of these group 1, and then, you know, say you need 3 out of 5 or whatever. Okay, anyway, that all just to say that you now have that functionality. So that's really all I want to show you. I'm happy to work with you on this and do a personal in-person demo. I realize this is kind of long and it's a lot of complex material that we've gone over. So this will be in beta. You're going to have full access to it, and I will send those instructions not on a public YouTube video. So I'll send those to you in an email. Okay, guys, good luck with all this, and I'm looking for feedback, and we hope to roll this out in the fall. Thanks. Bye-bye.